Hey guys, Myles here. Today I want to talk to you about the Tenicor ZERO gun belt. This is a belt, when I heard that was coming out, I was very excited about it because I like minimalist gear. I don't like to carry a lot of things that are clunky, and there's a lot of things that you don't really need. And if you've been thinking about getting the Tenicor ZERO belt, even before watching this review, I highly recommend you get the belt. Now, if you want to know more about the details, my thoughts, stay tuned for the rest of the video. So I've been using the Tenicor ZERO belt for probably about 2.5, 3 months now, and I have used it every single day. I've used it during our training, force and force classes, pretty much put this through heavy use. The only thing that I haven't done with this is grappled a lot with it. I have done just some clinch work, but other than that, I haven't grappled with it. But given the average use of your average concealed carrier, I've put much more time and use into this belt, and it hasn't given me any problems whatsoever. As I said earlier in the video, the reason why I was so excited about this is because it's very minimalist. I often forget that I'm wearing this. It's super light, and it's not like those belts that are really sturdy and stiff, so every time you bend, you feel that belt. And it's not meant to be that kind of belt where you're loading it up with all kinds of gear. You have mag pouches, you have your holster, you have all this other stuff for a multi-tool. It really is meant for concealed carriers who want something minimalist. So for me, all I'll use is my holster and maybe a mag pouch. But other than that, that's it. There's nothing else. And when we talk about the belt itself, the features of this belt, and talk about it being minimalist, just take a look at this, guys. It is the nylon strap here, the belt itself, and just this buckle. There's nothing else here, and it locks and secure just by threading it through this buckle here. And I'll dive into this a little bit more, but when we talk about just carrying the gear that you need and having, being comfortable with your EDC or your everyday carry, this belt really, to me, is a 10 out of 10. Another great thing about this belt being very minimalist and not like those really stiff gun belts that you see out there is that when I've traveled, and if you watch our videos, we travel a lot, we teach classes around the nation, it's really easy to pack, roll up, and it's a very minimal footprint. So as you can see here, I can even make it more dense, but other gun belts are really stiff. It just kind of unravels and takes up a lot more space. This is just real compact. You can squish it down. Again, it's stiff enough to do exactly what you need to do. And going back to what I mentioned earlier, it deserves repeating. It's just so comfortable because it is not like those stiff belts. So for those of you who like to carry as little as possible, this definitely is the belt for you. Now let's talk a little bit about the material used. So the Tenicor ZERO belt is a nylon belt, which is sewn by Wilderness Tactical. And we've done a little research, and I believe that Wilderness Tactical applies a polymer coating to the nylon that soaks into the nylon so it doesn't fray. Now, I don't know if their claim is that it won't fray at all, but I do have a little fraying on the edges, perhaps where the coating doesn't seep in that much, but not a lot. I mean, if you put it to the light, you can see a little strands of nylon, but not very bad. And once again, that's after about 3 months of use. So in terms of anywhere else on the side of the belt, it's warping or anything like that, it's very minimal. Again, kind of the nylon, just the little strands of nylon are what you see the most. In terms of the belt warping, you kind of see this right here, where towards the center, there's a little bit of a curve right there in the belt, and that is because I've worn it in one direction for a long time. I've noticed that if I just wear it, like say the next day you wear it one way, the other day you wear it the other way, it kind of evens out. And the warping is going to be kind of the result of a little bit softer belt, in that it's not one of those traditional gun belts that are really, really rigid. So there's give and take. This is not going to be that belt where you want to load it up with all of your gear, kit, equipment, all that stuff. It is meant for concealed carriers who are, again, their EDC is minimalist, just like the belt is meant to be. So the question of the day, what gun belt do you use every day? Leave your answer below. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Now let's get back to the video. Let's talk a little bit about the fit of this belt. We already talked about how comfortable it is because it's softer. How about the fit? Traditional gun belts will have holes and things like that where it may not fit you exactly the way you want to, because let's say you're within one of those holes in a traditional belt, right? Then it may not fit like a glove. Then there are those gun belts that have notches here, so they're much better than your traditional holes in a belt where you only have fixed widths. for our waist. But here, this buckle allows you complete freedom. So even beyond the other gun belts that have little notches that give you a lot more options in terms of your waist length and things like that, so that you can get a comfortable tight fit, this really has absolutely no limitations to how tight you can go or how loose you can go. There's no ridges that you have to adhere to. And I like that a lot. So you literally can have this as tight as you want, as loose as you want. And it does come in sizes, of course, so you're gonna get the size that is going to work for your waist, but they give you enough length in the belt to make it looser, tighter, and then once again, you're not limited to how loose or tight you can go because there are no buckles or kind of ridges or anything that you have to follow. So let's talk about reliability. That's super important with any gun belt. You want it to be there, you want it to hold up your equipment, and you don't want it to unravel. Now, when I got this belt, knowing that everything is held by this simple buckle, right? Just this little buckle, nothing holds it in place. All you do is you loop it in from the outside in, and I was skeptical, but you'll see this. All I do is I loop it in, take a look at this, from the outside in, and I'm gonna pull, and it's stuck. I've done this many times trying to take it out, and I've never had this belt loosen up. I've had to manually loosen it up, literally just like this when I wanted to. I put it on too tight first, and then I was putting in my appendix carry. I needed to make some space. So it's gonna stay where you lock it in place. I haven't had any issues with it. Again, using it pretty much every day for about 2.5, 3 months. Mind you, I haven't grappled in it. I have done some clinch work in it, but I don't think it will unravel also when you grapple based on what I've done. Because when you lock it in from the outside in, your body is also securing this in place. So as long as it's against your body, this is not going to unravel. So when it comes to reliability, this belt will not come loose. At least in all the applications I've done, this is just as secure in my feeling compared to any other belt that I've used. Going back to the function of this in terms of holding up the equipment that you need, as long as you keep in mind that this is a minimalist belt, it is not meant to load on everything that you have, then yes, it will be reliable. At most, what I've done is I've carried my gun, holster, and a mag pouch. Sidecar mag pouch, sidecar holsters will work just as well because it's minimalist as well. You're just carrying a magazine plus your gun plus the holster. So when it comes to reliability, those of you who've been wondering, this really is reliable. It does what it needs to do. It holds up your gear as long as you're minimalist here, not trying to pack everything in, and it holds the belt in place. It doesn't unravel. So Tenicor, you did a really great job at keeping things minimal, but also very secure. Lastly, let's talk about cost. The Tenicor ZERO Belt costs $79. And for those who have looked at other gun belt options out there, that does seem to be on the higher end. But I will say that for me, because I'm a minimalist, I like minimalist carry. And I really like the design and innovation. There's no other belt that I've seen on the market like this. We've done a little research. And to me, the cost is well worth it, simply because it does exactly what it needs to do without providing anything else. So, thus the name Zero. It's just what you need. So I do think that compared to other belts, yes, it is going to be something more expensive, but I do highly recommend it. And for those of you who are watching this video, if you watch till the end, we have a 10% coupon. So if you are interested in this, take a look at the description below. You can use that coupon code to get a discount and grab yourself a ZERO Belt. And you can also use it for any of their holsters. So I hope you guys like my review on the Tenicor ZERO Belt. It's something I use every day. This is definitely my go-to belt. If you see me on the range or see me just walking in the street and you ask me to see what my gun belt is, you're going to see this around my waist. Highly recommend it. Make sure to check them out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.